Welcome back. In this segment, we're going to be talking about our different type of threat actors. And you may also hear them referred to as like malicious actors and things like that. And we've kind of gotten away from the term of calling them a hacker, right? And now refer to them as a threat actor or maybe even just an attacker, right? Because they're usually someone who's trying to do harm or has malicious intent and things like that. So we'll talk about the different types of hackers here in a second. But when we're talking about someone kind of attacking our network or our information, we refer to them as threat actors, and we're going to talk about the different type of threat actors that we have. So originally, the first types of cyber attacks were mainly just for people to show off, show their technical prowess and their skill and things like that. And eventually it kind of turned to be more focused on financial gain, right? And so when we talk about financial cybercrime, we kind of separate it into three different categories based on who it's targeting, right? So the first one is our individual users. You can think of that as like identity theft or stealing people's credit card numbers and things like that. Then we also have the target of enterprises or corporations. Maybe it's to steal some research that they're working on or new products that they maybe can potentially sell to their competitors or things like that. Also, ransomware is really big nowadays. Hijacking a company's data and encrypting it so that they can't even access their own data, and then selling it back to them, providing them with a decryption key once they've paid the ransom, essentially, typically in some type of cryptocurrency. And then the last one is governments. Stealing information from governments, whether it's for weapon systems or secrets, cyber espionage, things like that. So we kind of break them down into those three different categories, again, based off who gets targeted. And so I talked before about how we kind of go away from the term hackers when we're talking about this new term of threat actors. And that's because hackers aren't always bad, right? We have three different types of hackers: black hat, white hat, and gray hat. And so our black hat hackers are kind of the malicious traditional hackers that we think about, right? That are, have some sort of ulterior motive. But then we have white hat hackers, which are essentially the good guys, right? And you can think of these as like the pen testers that, have a business of, trying to test security measures of a certain company or organization, not to do harm, but to let them know where their vulnerabilities and weaknesses are. And so those are the white hat hackers. And then we have gray hat hackers, which are just kind of somewhere in between, right? All right, so the first type of threat actor that we have is what we refer to as a script kiddie. And we call them script kiddies because they have very, very little to no technical knowledge, right? They just go out onto their interwebs and they pay for services to, download scripts or tools to attack people, and they don't really actually know what's going on or what they're doing, right? Cybersecurity has come to the point where people can do that, right? You can purchase those services on those tools and things like that and not have to know very, very much or anything at all about what's actually happening or going on. So those are our script kiddies. The next group that we have are called hacktivists, and these groups of people are, they're not financially motivated or anything like that. They're motivated by a strong sense of ideology or belief in something or belief against something, right? They don't usually try to get any type of financial gain out of it. One example of this is a while ago, a group hacked into the U.S. Department of Justice, their website, and changed it so that it read the Department of Injustice, right? Things like that. So hacking for essentially a reason, like an activist, but a hacktivist. And then we have state actors, which are essentially government-sponsored threat actors or attackers who, launch attacks and cyber attacks against enemies of the state. And so, a lot of the times these are kind of the most dangerous threat actors because they're not doing it for, inconsequential gain, right? For someone that's doing it for fortune, they're just going to look for essentially the easiest target, right? But a state actor is, essentially hired to go after specific targets, and they keep going after that target until they've achieved their mission, essentially, which can potentially take a very, very long time. And so because of that, that gave birth to the APT, which you guys may have heard of, the Advanced Persistent Threat, meaning that it persists and it lasts for a long period of time, which we're able to extract the data over that period of time and things like that. So those are our state actors. Insiders, just as its name applies, right? Insider threat. Someone that works for the company, someone on the inside, right? Things like that. You can see some statistics there about how 60% of enterprises reported being a victim of at least one type of insider attack, right? And they're dangerous because, a lot of the times they're unrecognizable. Like you can't really tell them or pick them out until it's too late, until it already happened. So they can be pretty dangerous as well. And then we have these other type of threat actors as well. These are kind of the minor, less common threat actors. So I won't read off the screen there. You can kind of read about them and what they are. But those ones that we just covered before this slide are kind of the more common threat actors that you'll hear about and see about. So good. So that wraps up this video all about threat actors. I hope you guys had learned something, and we will see you in the next video.